eye had like this weird twitchy thing going on in my eye, and I'm like, oh my god, am I having a stroke? Africa versus America. But one thing I'll tell you for certain, and I think South Africa is one of the places where you can clearly see it, I've had multi-dimensional experiences throughout their medical system there, where I was a walk-in, where I was an appointment, where I saw a general provider, where I saw a specialist, where I had a problem, or where I was just come for a routine checkup. Like, I did them all. I also had my routine physical, I also had my women's exam, I also had full labs, I had everything done. I was on a full, like, I went for like a full week just getting my full workup from the rooter to the tutor. And let me tell you, if I told you how much I paid for medical, dental, vision, women's exams, a mental health check-in, a referral to neurology, some prescriptions, self-care, spa, weekend safari getaway. Like, these are things that you pay an additional, service for that's oftentimes costs more than a routine service with upcharges, right? I got all of these things done for a number you just wouldn't believe. Like, I was in South Africa, Johannesburg specifically, earlier this year, traveling solo. I want to make sure I'm laying out all of the elements for you, because anxiety attack. Okay, do I want to tell that story now or maybe later? Is it a story for later? I guess maybe. I don't know. You know what? I do know. It's spirit. We're just gonna call it what it is. Okay, we're just gonna be real with it. Because one of the things that I'm working on, that I was assigned to do with my therapist, was to be more knowing in my knowing, because I be knowing. I had the weirdest dream yesterday. Someone came to me in a dream. Nevertheless, I'm just keep it short and sweet. The better you do and the more successes you have with certain things, the more it actually costs. So maybe this is a perfect time to share some of my medical tourism experience with you in South Africa. While I was there, earlier this year, I had a panic attack. And I went and saw a clinical professional. So first of all, I was already doing too much, really, the absolute most, honestly. So not only was I doing my solo travel self-care thing, but I was actually out on business. So I was up taking meetings and out physically shaking hands and things. But also, in addition to that, still having to operate a bunch of stuff stateside. Okay, we're being safe drivers. I've parked my vehicle now. So where was I going? Yes. So when I was in South Africa, Johannesburg specifically, earlier this year, traveling solo, I want to make sure I'm laying out all of the elements for you, because anxiety attack. Okay, so traveling solo, internationally, out doing business, also trying to catch a bit of self-care, but also juggling all of the things that I still had going for myself that didn't, wasn't location specific. Like if I put a little bit of perspective for you, earlier this year, I was managing 5 teams spread across several different time zones, spread across 5 countries, and every last one of them wanted attention from me at the same time. And that became unsustainable, in addition to the fact that, as you grow in leadership grows. So there was just like a lot of new responsibilities. Nevertheless, it was just one of those days where there was too many different pressures on me from too many particular angles at one time, and I had a panic attack. And that has been a long time since I had an anxiety attack like that. I used to struggle with them, but it's been a very long time. So that in itself let me know, like, okay, time to take a hard reset. And that's a lot of where, like, transitioning from it being a solo work trip / doing some self-care to, like, all right, now this is a self-care trip happened. But I had already started doing some of my medical appointments, and I'm adding the part about, like, the health, like the mental health change, because when I decided to go see a clinician the following day, like, I had a panic attack like early in the morning or something, and then like later in that day I just kind of slept it off, and then the next day I went and seen a clinician. First of all, I was able to get seen next day. All right, I didn't have to spend a lot of time or a lot of money waiting to get my concerns addressed. And then I was able to talk to a clinical professional who then referred me to a neurologist. And then also he gave me a prescription at that point in time. It was like, take this. Anyway, within my neurodivergent community, I've learned, like, a lot of people are on that particular benzo, and they use it for anxiety regulation. And it's very difficult to get here. It's very difficult to get. You have to see a lot of like first talk therapy, I think, clinical providers, and then you have to see a psychiatric provider to get evaluation, and then maybe get the script for that particular anxiety medication. Whereas I was just like, I had a panic attack, and they're like, here you go. So I wanted to, not only did he give me some in the office, he wrote me a script, and that's why I ended up with like medication that I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to take. But I did keep it just in case I need it for future reference, but also so when I do go to maybe a clinical provider on this side, I can say I've tried this and this is the experience I had. I thought that was important to kick it off with because, first of all, mental health is very, not only did I have the opportunity to and did see a clinical provider to give me something for my panic attack, I also had my routine physical, I also had my women's exam, I also had full labs, I had everything done. I was on a full, like I went for like a full week just getting my full workup from the rooter to the tutor, and let me tell you, cost pennies compared to stateside, and the service was phenomenal. I saw a preventative medicine specialist. There you go. I got it out. I saw a preventive medicine specialist that was like, kid you not, like 70 years old. Look amazing. And he was just like, yeah, do these things. Not only that, his bedside manner was excellent. Like, it was amazing. It made me feel so comfortable. And he didn't do my exam, but he was also a gynae. I learned that they call them gynae instead of gynos there. So he was also a gynecologist. There, I found that it seemed to be a lot easier to find a gynae or a gynecologist that if you just wanted a typical, well women's exam, or you just wanted to have something checked out, or you were concerned about anything. It seems like it's a lot easier to see providers. So did dental and vision. I got new glasses. Would highly recommend the ophthalmologist. I had like this weird twitchy thing going on in my eye, and I'm like, oh my God, am I having a stroke? Like, and she basically was able to give me like a full assessment, check all of my things, compare it with my labs, and it's like, no, I know exactly what this is. Here, take this. So I started taking my allergy medication because my eye felt like it needed to work. But I want to say, like, I had experiences where, and this is why I'm kind of giving you the yap session, the full neurodivergent rant. I've had multi-dimensional experiences throughout their medical system there, where I was a walk-in, where I was an appointment, where I saw a general provider, where I saw a specialist, where I had a problem, or where I would just come for a routine checkup. Like, I did them all. And I only have great things to say, honestly, truly, because one thing we know about Africa is they move on different time, but also, African culture is much more holistic. And I found that South African culture was like the perfect median of like Eastern and Western medicine, where, he had like the infrastructure was what I would expect or anticipate from Western medicine. However, there are a lot more holistic infusion perspectives. Like, for example, that preventative medicine specialist I saw, is a specialist in Eastern medicine, right? Like, he is an Indian. Like, he's a specialist in Eastern medicine. However, he has Western credentials, right? So I found that works for me, like finding the medium between Eastern and Western societies and cultures, because I'm still American, but also, I'm not caught up in a lot of the stereotypical American traps in a lot of ways. And I'm much more interested in being as close to our origins as possible, but with the modernized updates, that additional insight, right? So I just wanted to kind of like share with you while it was on my mind. That way I can give you the authentic experience, because I kind of flashed back into that moment, especially being by myself as a woman, solo traveling internationally, like literally, what am I about to do? What am I going to do? Right? So thankfully I was able to ground myself and get the support I needed. I'll call my husband. But also I was able to see a clinical professional and get like legit medical help for not only my mental health and the experience that I had that was there, but also he asked me a lot of good generalized questions to help refer me so that I can get whatever I need for ongoing treatment, which is why one of the reasons why I'm doing like the coaching sessions and stuff like that right now. And then I had like good primary care for my general workup. I had full labs, more labs than I would have gotten done in here, for real. I had a full women's exam as well as full women's labs. I had routine vision with new glasses and got picked up the new glasses. I got routine dental, and I had got the brackets removed from my Invisalign. Do I want to tell that story now or maybe later? Is it a story for later? I guess maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I had the brackets removed from my Invisalign that I had put on my teeth because I hated the Invisalign so bad that there was no way I was going to finish that, which is why you see me now with a fresh row of golds. You see it, you see the glistening. Funny enough, this is very similar to South African culture. I found I love it. They wear a lot of golds and like grills and everything out there too, but down south, very normal, very big part of my culture. We do dreads and golds where I'm from. So growing up, my mama had dreads and golds, so like I always had it in my mind, when I make it, I'm gonna get my golds. And when I've been working in corporate America for so long that, you know, it's not really applauded, but now that I have my own footing and I feel comfortable enough to go for it, I wanted to fix my bite. So finish fixing my bite, keep the gap, but also bling bling every time I come around your city, bling bling. Anyway, nevertheless, I digress. But I had, in addition to those amazing medical tourism experiences, I was able to even get some more wellness treatments. So I did like a full spa safari getaway, all of these things. And if I told you how much I paid for medical, dental, vision, women's exams, a mental health check-in, a referral to neurology, some prescriptions, self-care spa weekend safari getaway, what else? Yeah, I mentioned the medications. I mentioned I had to have brackets removed. Like, these are things that you pay an additional, you know, service for that's oftentimes costs more than a routine service with upcharges, right? I got all of these things done for a number you just wouldn't believe. Like, you made that up. Just understand, okay, that when it's time for my next routine wellness, I'm probably gonna go, maybe I'll try a new place. I don't know, but I really enjoyed the place that I tried. And I found that they were clean, they were concise, you know, and as someone who's trained to like clean a clinic, right? Like at one point in time, I worked as a certified medical assistant, so I know how to sterilize tools, clean the clinic, clean the office, etc., etc., etc. These are things that I'm looking for from not only my perspective to be comfortable as a client or a patient, but also from the little bit of knowledge and expertise and experience that I do have. So I will say this, now working in healthcare administration for as long as I have to, even their admin processes are a lot more succinct. Funny enough, like you would think they were more lengthy because Africa versus America, but one thing I'll tell you for certain, and I think South Africa is one of the places where you can clearly see it, America has too much technology going on. Like America has like written out the person in most transactions where you're just a number, you don't, like your experience doesn't really count. They just, did you pay? Did you get the bill? Are you going to pay? Right? Like a lot of stuff is really about centered in that in America, where I found that South African hospitality just shone through, like with every aspect of, you know, everything from, and these were all different providers, by the way, all different providers. They're all different private locations that I took the time to research, but also took the time to actually test out for myself. And then some of them were even referred by a colleague or two. So I had a great experience through and through. And maybe one day I'll tell you a little bit more about what I was doing on the business side there in healthcare administration. But as of right now, I just really wanted to get it off my chest as I was thinking about it. The next time, my friends, practice self-care and listen to your needs daily. Do it every day. It's been Friskino.